All right. So raise your hand if you've used Scratch before, right? Many of us have. If you haven't, that's totally fine. I actually started my kids when they were younger using Scratch Junior. That's actually a thing. And it's for like little kids. There's also Osmo. You ever know hear what Osmo is? You know what Osmo? It's like a coding, like it's like blocks. You're teaching them the concepts, right? This is not advanced, but the cool thing with Scratch is it's something that you can learn as a kid, and then you start to realize that you can do more with it, and you explore all that's in Scratch, and you start to become really good at it, and then you realize that Scratch actually holds you back in some ways. And these things you're relying on, actually, there's a whole new world outside of Scratch that you can explore. And one of the most rewarding experiences for me, I actually run a game design game design camp. That's what it's called. And it's kids between, it's actually funny because Sam went to the camp before. Anyone else been to the camp before? Well, you were running it. Sam was a student in the camp at one point. I taught Sam when he was in middle school, Sam Boggs. But it's for really middle schoolers, and the whole week we just make video games. And there's some kids that attend the camp that are like, there's one kid, he was like 12 years old, and he knows like more about things than I do. And he's just brilliant. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, him and Ryan Smith were like on the same level. Um, but with that, it's nice being able to see kids have that aha moment and being like, oh, this is cool. I was able to make this. And actually adults are able to create games on Scratch as well. And it's more than just for little kids. But if I were to type in my browser up top, I'm gonna type in scratch.mit.edu. You probably can't see it on my screen over there, but you can see it on my screen here on my computer. But scratch.mit.edu. And MIT stands for Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and they created this to help kids and people in general begin with block-based programming. And eventually the goal is for you to fall in love with it or like it enough that you then learn a text-based language. Now, in this class, we already played around a little with Python, but Scratch allows us to play with some more advanced features without learning all the intricate syntax of a text-based language. That might not have made any sense of what I just said, but just stay with me. So the first thing you want to do is you want to just look at the top menu here. I logged in, God bless you. I logged in as me, but it's preferred that you create an account. That'd be awesome. If you don't have an account, that's fine for today. You can create it in the future. It'd be important in this class to create an account because that's how you save your work. Anyway, if I click on, let's just say I click on create in the top left corner. Like I said, if you've never used Scratch before, totally fine. I'm going to walk you through. So really, there's three main sections to this. You have on the left, you have all of your blocks and the drawers, which I'll explain in a second. In the middle is where you drag your blocks. And then on the right, this is your stage and some of the properties of your sprites, which are objects, which we'll talk about in a second. Your blocks, they're color coordinated. Awesome. I love color. I'm a visual person. I like being able to see things and organize things. So if you see a block, you don't know where it is, you can just look at the color of it and say, oh, that must be in the motion drawer or the looks drawer. Sound. So motion, click on looks, all these blocks in here. Imagine that you're opening up a drawer, right? I have drawers over there. Open one up. There's the motion drawer, the looks drawer, the sound drawer, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and then there's a drawer called My Blocks. You can create your own blocks. That's outside the scope of this class, but that's there. So you have these drawers that contain these blocks. Also down here, if you want more blocks, you can click on extensions and you can add music blocks. You can draw things. You can add text to speech. translate in different languages, and then some Lego stuff that we're never going to use. But anyway, I know. So that's the blocks. Those are the blocks and the drawers that are with them. Then the middle is where you would drag them. On the right, this is your stage. Down here, you have different objects called sprites. And I'm not sure why they call them sprites, but this guy right here, his name is Scratch the cat. He's like the mascot of the Scratch language. We can make him do things, or we can delete him if we want to. If I delete him, click on this trash can right there, he's gone. If I said, you know what, maybe I didn't want to delete him, I click on edit, and this is kind of like undo, restore him, and he's back. I can delete him. Let's just say I keep him, and let's say I want him for now. Actually, you know what? I lied. Let's delete him. And let me find a picture online real quick. I'm going to find a picture, and I want you, some of you may know who this is, some of you may not. That's fine. I'm going to click down here. If I wanted to add, since I deleted Scratch the cat, I'm going to go ahead here and add a sprite. So you could click on surprise and a random sprite shows up on the screen. I'll delete her. I click it again, right? And there's a random hippo with wings. Not going to use that. But then I click on paint. I could create my own Scratch. I could click on this like magnifying glass and search for one of these kind of outdated looking pictures. Or I could upload my own. So I'm going to click on upload sprite. And I'm going to upload this guy. Anyone know who that is? That's Gunnar Henderson. O's played their last game of the season yesterday. You know what's crazy? My wife told me the playoff games are this week at 4 o'clock. How are we supposed to get to a game? I got practice. I want to go to a playoff game. Did they make the playoffs? Of course we made the playoffs. Okay. All right. Well, when you have someone like Gunnar Henderson, right, you're going to make the playoffs. Let's say since this is it just says I there, that's not his name. I'm going to rename him Gunnar. Okay? And then if I want him exactly in the middle, I could change, check this out. See like the X and Y coordinates? I could change it to 0, 0, and that makes him show up in the middle. Think of my like coordinate plane in math. Can't get away from math. Math is always around you, right? If I wanted Gunnar Henderson to disappear, that'd be awful, right? Yesterday they subbed him out and they put Jackson Holiday in. And you could make him appear, disappear. Let's say I want him at half the size because he's kind of taking up my whole screen right now. So instead of 100%, I could change to 50%. And now he's a little smaller. Okay. I could also change what direction he's facing, right? And let's just put him at 90. All right. So there's Gunnar Henderson. And then let's go ahead and add another sprite. Let's add a bad guy. Who do we think I'm going to use? Let's say, let's upload this guy. No one likes him.
Well, it's, you know, like Aaron Judge.
And that's Aaron Judge is like 6'6", 6'7". He's just a monster. He's really good. So I'm gonna name him Aaron, but we don't like him because he plays for the Yankees. So we're gonna go ahead and put him at 50% as well. Let's see. Aaron Judge is 6'7". And he's just an athletic monster. Great player. There's Gunnar Henderson, and then there's Aaron Judge. So let's say I'm going to click on Gunnar down here, bottom left. And I'm going to go to my events drawer and I'm going to drag out this green flag. It says when the green flag is clicked. Now, let's say I wanted every single time the green flag is clicked, let's say I want Gunnar Henderson to, let's just say I make him move 10 steps. So I'm going to drag this out. Now, when I drag it out, I have to make sure I click it in. See how it kind of like hovers over, right? If I let go, it normally like makes like a click sound. It clicks in there, but we're good to go. So if I then click the green flag, he's going to move 10 steps. Watch this. 3, 2, 1, go. What happened? 3, 2, 1, go. He moved 10 steps, but really in Scratch, it should say move 10 pixels, right? It's moving 10 pixels. So if I were, it doesn't actually go step, 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 step. It's just moving to the right 10. So let's say I want to move 50 pixels. If I click start, ready, green flag, 1, 2, 3. Notice it was a little bit of a bigger jump. So you can edit that and change. If I wanted to drag him back over here, I could. And then you could play around with it. Look at these other blocks. The way that I learned how to use Scratch, the way that I learned how to use Python was I just tried things and see if they worked. And if they didn't work, then I did something else and kept trying. So if I have this turn 15 degrees and I'm like, I don't know what this does, I can drag it in there and try it. And it does exactly what it says. It's going to move 50 steps and then turn 15 degrees. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Go, 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 go. And now he's just moving around a circle, right? And there we go. Okay. Maybe I'll move him down a little bit again, move Aaron Judge down here. But notice this, when I click on Gunnar Henderson, I have this code over here. If I click on Aaron Judge, what happens to all my code? Common complaint. Mr. Danza, all my code disappeared. I have no idea. I spent all these hours on my code and it's gone. Where is it? It's just not. Aaron Judge is his own person, right? He doesn't play for as good of a team as Gunnar Henderson does, right? But Gunnar Henderson has his own directions of what he's told to do. If I tell Greg, hey, do this, and I tell Kate, hey, do this, something different, they have their own directions, right? So if I want to make Aaron, right? Let's say every time I'm going to go to events, right? And we'll say when the space key is pressed, every single time the space key is pressed, I'm going to go to looks and I'm going to say, instead of saying hello, I could say, I wish I played for the O's. Right? So now I'm going to press space in 3, 2, 1, go. Wish I played for the O's. And then it goes away. It says it for 2 seconds. And every single time I click the green flag, Gunnar Henderson does what I told him to do. He moved 50 steps, turned 15 degrees. Okay. I click the green flag a bunch. Could make him turn back to his starting position. And I'll drag him back here. All right. Let's say you don't want to block anymore. I could take a block and I could right click on it and say delete block. Or I could take that block and drag it and just put it in the drawer and it disappears. Those are 2 ways of making it disappear. Okay. Let's see what else. The difference between say and think is important. So check this out. Say, I wish I played for the O's. And there's a think as well. And the think I'm going to drag out. And I'm going to say, we'll say I wonder if the Yankees will trade me. Okay, so if I click on the space key, it says, I wish I played for the O's. And he thinks the think bubbles. I don't know, my daughter likes reading graphic novels, right? So there's the say and then the think, you can tell it looks a little different. Click the green flag. Gunnar Henderson moved a little bit. The space key. I wish I played for the O's. I wonder if the Yankees will trade me. All right, let's say I wanted to click on Gunnar Henderson and I wanted to change his costume. This is what a costume is. Check this out. Click on costumes up here. See my mouse up here. Click on costumes. And I could right click on Gunnar and say duplicate. And I'm going to draw, we'll say in yellow, I'm going to draw a crown. Very sophisticated crown on his head. Okay. And then maybe I fill it in yellow here. It's not a very good crown. Looks like his head's on fire. But look, now I have two costumes. I have Gunnar with his head not on fire, and then I have Gunnar with his crown on. Maybe I can like, I feel like crown should have jewels on it, right? So maybe I add like, I don't know. I'll add maybe one over here. Right. There you go. We'll add maybe a line across. That looks more like a crown, right? Just pretend it does. Anyway, so there's Gunnar. He has two different costumes now. So if I go to code and let's say Gunnar moves 50 steps, but then also he moves to the next costume. If I click on the green flag, look, now he has a hat. Now he doesn't. Now he does. Now he doesn't. Right? It's actually how you can make it look like people are running. It moves from one costume to the next, to one, to the next, and you make it move really fast. It looks like his legs are moving. Okay. So every single time you take one step, change the costume. That's one way of doing it. Let's say I want to create a loop and just loops forever and ever and ever. And Gunnar Henderson is just, moving back and forth. I can do that by clicking on control and adding a forever loop. Right? And he will always move 50 steps. And after 50 steps, maybe 10 steps. And after 10 steps, he's going to change his costume. Ready, set, go. What happened? He ran off the screen, right? So what I need to do is I need to make sure I'm going to go to motion in the motion drawer, and I'm going to go down to if on edge bounce, which means that if he hits the edge, he bounces off and goes the other way. All right. So now let's see what happens. Ready, set, go. Look at that. Now he's upside down. We probably don't want him upside down. So maybe we go to direction down here in the bottom right corner. And instead of this one all around, we can move to this one, which is just left and right. Okay, so now he's just moving left to right. But it's going on forever until I click this stop sign. I click the green flag again, just him moving forever. Just dancing in front of Aaron Judge. Okay. Also, another block that's nice to use is go to random position, right? So maybe when the green flag's clicked, I'll make Gunnar Henderson go to a random position and then have him move back and forth. Green flag, ready, set, go. Oh, look at that. Now he's dancing right in front of Aaron Judge. Who's your team if you don't like the Orioles? Were you a fan before Paul Skeens? Okay, cool. My dad's really good friend is their bullpen coach. Bullpen, I think bullpen or pitching coach. One of the coaches that works in the bullpen. Anyway. Then let's see what else. Maybe also. Oh man, Greg's dropping all the balls. I think that might be an okay place to start. The way that I learned how to use a lot of this in Scratch was just by dragging things in and trying it out and reading what it says. The block that says when this sprite is clicked does exactly that. It activates when the sprite is clicked. And a sprite is another name for an object. Okay. Now, if you wanted to explore, I guess up here I could change the name of my project. I could say example 2024. Today's the 30th and the time is 13:51. If I wanted to explore beyond just this, if I click on Scratch, it says your changes might not be saved. That's okay. You could watch tutorials under ideas. That will help you. If you want to create some things, it shows you how to use some of the basics. Also, what you can do is one of the things that I like to do with my campers in game design camp is to have them go to explore. If you click on explore, you can explore all the games that are made. And like if I were to click on or type in baseball, I could find a bunch of baseball games that are made. If I were to type in Pac-Man, I could find different Pac-Man games that are made. Now, let's say I found this baseball game. I'm just going to click on the first one, 3D baseball. And I could click on see inside. I could see the code that this person used to create this game. Should maybe play it first. Here we go. I don't know what to do. I'm going to click space. I guess, I don't know what's going on. I guess space swings. Oh, yeah, it just randomly throws the ball. Not a very sophisticated game. I'm waiting. Oh, yeah, look at that. Is that a home run? A triple. Okay. So I can also then remix this game and make it my own by clicking on remix. And that allows me to change things up within the game. So if I wanted to, I don't know, change the baseball, if I want to change its costume instead of it being yellow, let's say I wanted it to be purple, right? Maybe I didn't want it to be a baseball at all. Maybe I wanted it to be, let's see here. Oh, I know what I can do. I can upload, right? Maybe it could just be Aaron Judge's head, right? And I'll erase some of this, right? There you go, perfect. I'll erase all of Aaron Judge. Okay. And I'll move this here. And I'll delete this, but I'll call this costume 1. Right, so now, oops, nope, undo. Maybe I should make it a little smaller. Let me see, I'll click it, I'll highlight it, make it a little smaller here. There you go. So I changed up the game. There you go. So now Aaron Judge's head comes and flies at me. I'm not sure how to, oh, there it is. Right? I'm not sure how to make it actually work. Okay. So I was able to change the code up and change it from a baseball coming at me, but now it's this. I remix it. I made it my own, and I'll call it Mr. Danza's baseball game. And then I could share it with everyone. I could share it with my friends, and you could come play Mr. Danza's baseball game. All right. So you can explore all through this. Click on explore, play different games. For the rest of class time, I'm going to give you the time to explore the different games that are within Scratch or play around in the create area if you would like. Okay. So the rest of the time is yours to explore Scratch.